Hey there, this is grade 10 statistics lesson number 1. We will be doing the language of statistics. This lesson is proudly brought to you by Infinite Wisdom Tutoring. Let's start off with understanding what data is or what data means in mathematics grade 10. A set of information which could be useful given in the form of numbers. For the level of grade 10s, data will mean a set of information which could be useful given in the form of numbers. But not only numbers can be given for data, because we have different types of data. Let's check what we call the ungrouped data. The ungrouped data is still given in numbers for the level of grade 10, and it is given as individual numbers. How so? If there were 5 people picked at random, and they were asked what their ages were. Perhaps let's just write them down. We found that the first one was 20 years old, the other one was 13, the other one was 20, the other one was 20 again, and the last one was 14 years old. This data is ungrouped because we do not have a specific link or a specific grouping. There is no interval for this data. Every number, every digit, or every value is written individually. This is what we call the ungrouped data. Going forward, we also have what we call the grouped data, which can be that a number of people were picked at random and their age was asked, but when recorded, it was not recorded in the format of individual digits or individual numbers. Rather, it was recorded in the form of interval. And then we have what we call the frequency, which is telling us how many times a specific age occurred or how many people were occurring for that specific interval age. Starting from the age of 5 all the way to 10, there is an interval. Starting from again 10 all the way to 15, there is an interval. And from 15 all the way to 20, there is an interval. Let's say for the ages or the age interval between 5 and 10, 2 people were picked. And between 10 and 15, 5 people were picked. And between 15 and 20, only 3 people were picked. These intervals, what they mean, or this data, what it means, is that we are having a group of 2 people whose ages are running between 5 and 10. We are not sure where or which one actually is what. We don't know if the ages are 10, 15. We don't know if the age is 5 or is 6 or is what. But what we know is the ages is between 5 and 10. So we have grouped the 2 ages, which we do not know their actual values at the moment. And also the 5 ages, or the 5 people, we have grouped their ages between 10 and 15. This is what we call the grouped data. Let's go on. Data is also divided into 2 types. There is what we call the qualitative data, which is the data that is not given in numbers, and there is the quantitative data, which is the data that is given in numbers. Mostly in grade 10, we will be dealing with the quantitative data, as you have seen the grouped and ungrouped data. The quantitative data is when we are giving numbers. For example, how many learners are in grade 10? Now the number of learners, that is quantity, number of learners. But when it comes to qualitative data, is when we ask who learner or which learner is short. Now being short has no number in it. So we can say, okay, this specific learner is short. Now that is qualitative data. That's the quality of the data, being short or being black or being brown, or when you see something. Now that's quality. But when it comes to quantitative data, we are dealing with how many red colors did you see? I saw 30. Now 30 is a quantity. Going forward, to understand more of this topic, there is something we call the mean, or the mean average. So this is the average of the data. In simple format, mean is written as x with a line at the top, and it is known as the sum of all the numbers all over how many numbers are there. So if I was having marks of 5 learners out of 20, having 20, having 15, having 3, having 2, and having 10. When I want to find the mean, I will simply say the mean of the data equals to the sum of all the data all over how many of the data is there, or how many numbers are there in the data. And then continuing, I'll be having the mean, which is equals to 20 plus 15 plus 3 plus 2 plus 10 all over how many values are there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That means there are 5 values, and the answer that we will be getting here will be what we call our mean average. Going forward, we have what we call the mode, which is the most appearing number in the data. If I'm having the height of specific group of people, perhaps 1.6 meters, having 1.5 meters, having 1.6 meters, having 1.7 meters, having 1.5 meters, and then 1.6 meters. What we need to determine the mode is not a calculator, but rather by inspecting the data, by analyzing it. We check that 1.6 meters appears 3 times, whereas 1.5 meters appears only twice, and 1.7 meters appears once. It means the one that appears 3 times is our most appearing value, and it is the mode. So our mode will be 1.6. Continuing quickly without a waste of time, we have something called the median. The median is the middle number of the data. Given just a small data of any numbers, 1, 3, 5, 9. This data, when you are looking for the median, you will be checking, counting inward from both sides. So you will say, okay, this is the first counting, and then the second counting is that these 2 numbers are likely the middle numbers. Then I take the average because it is 2 numbers that are in the middle. And the answer here will be 4. It means my median will be 4. My median being 4, if my data was 1, 3, 5, 9, and 11, which is having an odd total number, because there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 numbers. Having 5 numbers compared to having 4 numbers, which is an even number, we will be calculating, or we will be finding the middle number in this way. We will count